Which is that early vertical forearm. We're going to talk now about phase 2, which is the diagonal phase. Now, the first phase I said was the most mechanically awkward for people. Phase 2, the diagonal phase, is a little more intuitive. You probably already do it without even thinking. But what happens is once our forearm and hand pass under our head, we go into the diagonal phase, where our elbow now drops outward. We have a 45-degree angle with our upper arm. Okay? And then our hand and our forearm and hand, which act as a paddle, pitches in about 5 degrees, so it directs under our body. Okay, so we probably all intuitively do it. What we want to watch out for is that we do not cross the center line of our body. So think there's a brick wall dividing you. I don't want to cross it, because when we do that, that happens when people drop their elbow and their upper arm, and you start getting that cross body swimming. So what they say to do is to imagine that you're squeezing a balloon. Okay, so when you come in, the elbow drops outward. You pretend you're squeezing a balloon between your armpit and your upper arm. Okay, so that keeps that tension through your pecs as you come in towards your body. Okay, and it's this pitch inward where we're getting that kind of sculling action to get force on the water, and then we pitch back outward for the finish phase. Okay, so it's much easier than that first phase of the stroke, and it's something you're probably intuitively doing to just make sure that you're not crossing the center line of your body. Let's talk a little bit about feel for the water, because that is a critical element from the time you enter the water through your finish phase. Feel of the water is your hold on the water. It's the pressure you feel. We want to increase resistance under the water to gain traction and propel our bodies forward. So what are the things that affect that? One thing is how we hold our hands. That's maybe something you've never really thought about. When we swim, we don't want to have cupped hands and clenched fingers. Okay, that reduces our effective surface area on the water. So what you want is you want an open palm, and you want slight spacing between your fingers. And the reason for that is when you have a little bit of spacing, that water flow becomes turbulent. You get like a web-like effect, and now my hand acts as if it's bigger than it is. But if I go too wide, right now it's like I have holes in my hand, you lose all force on the water and you're slipping. So it's kind of, if you almost don't even think about it, to how you naturally would tend if you don't think about stretching or clenching. Okay, but I think a lot of new swimmers tend to clench and cup like you're trying to scoop ice cream. You don't want to be directing any energy to tightening your fingers. You just want it loose. Okay. Secondly, we want our wrist flush with our forearm. We don't want it kinked or curved at all, because you want this area, even here, to be enacting on the water. You want to feel the force. And we want to act as if this is one paddle. Okay. When you break and you don't act with one paddle, you lose core engagement, and you'll feel it. You will feel it if you start to do this at all. So this is one flush paddle all the way through the pole. Forearm and hand act as a paddle. What we do with this paddle is we're doing slight angle changes, right? On the diagonal phase, we're coming in. On the finish phase, we're coming out. That's where we're impulsing on the water, and we're finding the force of the water. And that gives us our core engagement. So you can't see this, but our 2 new drills this week are what we call sensory awareness drills. We're going to do horizontal sculling, and we're going to do the fist drill. I think a lot of you have probably done the fist drill before, but both of these drills are designed to help you get a sense of how you should feel in the water, how that pressure should feel in your hands, on the underside of your arms. So let me explain horizontal sculling. You're going to have a pull buoy. We're going to take the kick out of it. We're going to be on our stomachs, and you're going to have your head up as if like you were doggy paddling. Okay, so your head will be out. Don't worry about breathing. And you're going to have your arms forward. This part of your arm, your upper arm, is going to be in like the high elbow position, and you're just going to scull back and forth, using this as one, making sure that you're keeping this flush, looking at how you're holding your fingers. And you're just going to go out, and you're going to come in, and you're going to go at a snail's pace down the pool, but I want you to get a sense of the feel that you should be grabbing the water and catching the water. Okay, so when you go out, pinky up, thumb down. You come in, switch, thumb up, pinky down. All right, and you want to keep this stationary and just move from the elbow down. Just get a good sense of how you should feel when you go through the water. The other one is a fist drill. We're just going to swim normal freestyle with our hands clenched in fist. And the point of this drill is to make you realize that you're catching the water as much with the forearm as you are with the hand. So we're going to take the hand out and we're going to practice catching the water. And it feels, if you've never done the fist drill, it feels really awkward. You just feel like you're slipping through. So the tendency is for people to cheat and do the karate chop. Okay, this is not a closed fist. I don't want to see that. We want completely closed fist. And as you do it, think about feeling the pressure of that water on your forearm the entire time of your pull. Okay. All right, let me go through the workout real quick. We have, well, we have time to get it in now. We're at 2,200 yards with a little bit of vertical kicking. 200 warm up.
Do that in there.
Yeah, a little bit of 200 warm up, swim the odd 50s, one arm extended kick on the odd or even 50s, switch arms at the 25. For 100s drill, your second 50 of each 100 will be regular swim. The first 50 will be in this order. You're going to do skull, fist, one arm swim, switching arms at the 25, and then fist. Then we're going to do 10 50s, and I want the odd ones really hard, and the even ones are recovery. You can even do an off stroke, such as back or breast stroke, or even butterfly if you want for recovery.
I don't know if that's recovery.
Yeah. 200s breath control. By 50, I want you to try to go every 3, every 7, every 3, every 5. Now I know a lot of people have said that 5 is very hard. 7 is pushing it. We want to try to increase our lung capacity. You can do it if you slow it down and do a constant exhale and slow down the exhale. You'll be surprised. You can do more. It's mind over matter. You won't black out, I promise. Then we're going to do a 500 with leader change. All right, so by 100, the person leading your lane is going to, after the 100, is going to stay to the right of the lane, and everyone's going to turn and go through, and they're going to drop in at the back. So everyone's going to be dropping back a position by 100, and then that leader now sets the pace for their 100. Okay, so just kind of switches it up. Then we have 3 rounds of, we're up to 45 seconds on the vertical kick. If you're finding vertical kick really easy, try putting your hands up above the water instead of like this, if anyone feels so inclined. And then cool down 200, breathe to your weak side.